Hello friends. Today, as you can see, we are talking about nuclear bombs. Watch the video, you might learn something smart if you listen carefully. I mean, maybe you won't, but at least you'll be looking at the most beautiful bald head. And before we start, I will ask you please to click like, share and subscribe. That mean nothing to you and it will mean a lot to me. Let's say I earn money, buy an apartment and move to Thailand. So, let's go. Nuclear weapons is a term we hear every day, especially lately as the war between Ukraine and Russia is going on. What are nuclear weapons and how destructive are they? How much does Russia have? How much do other countries have? And is there a fear that it will be used? Already at the beginning of the war, President Putin put Russian nuclear forces on special alert, which caused concern around the world. However, in his last speeches he very often threatens nuclear weapons. But analysts suggest the move should probably be interpreted as a warning to other countries not to escalate their involvement in Ukraine, rather than an actual desire to use nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons have been around for almost 80 years and were mostly treated as a deterrent that guaranteed the balance of power and the guarantee of national security. The actual number of nuclear weapons is mostly based on estimates, but according to the Federation of American Scientists, Russia has 5,977 nuclear warheads, including about 1,500 that are retired and scheduled for deactivation and destruction, or disposal. The usable active, meaning about 4,500, are mostly considered strategic nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles or rockets, which can be used to hit targets at long distances. These weapons are usually treated as potentially dangerous for general nuclear war. Other missiles are considered less destructive nuclear weapons, intended for use at shorter distances on land and in oceans. These estimates do not mean that Russia really has thousands of long-range nuclear missiles ready for use. Experts estimate that around 1,500 Russian warheads are currently deployed in land bases, on bombers or on submarines. Who else has nuclear weapons? Apart from Russia, there are 8 other countries with nuclear weapons: China, France, India, Israel, North Korea, Pakistan, the USA and Great Britain. China, France, Russia, the USA and Great Britain are on the list of 191 countries that have signed the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons (NPT). Under the agreement, they must reduce their stockpiles of nuclear warheads and, in theory, are committed to their complete elimination. In the mentioned countries, during the 1970s and 1980s, the number of stored warheads really decreased. India, Israel and Pakistan have never joined the NPT, and North Korea left it in 2003. Israel is the only one of the 9 countries that has never officially acknowledged its nuclear program, but it is widely accepted that it has nuclear warheads. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty (CTBT) has been accepted by 146 countries in the world. However, some nuclear powers, such as the USA, although they have signed the treaty, have not yet ratified it. True, nuclear tests are carried out very rarely. After the mutual tests of India and Pakistan in 1998, the alleged nuclear tests were carried out only by North Korea in 2006. Ukraine does not have nuclear weapons and, despite President Putin's accusations, there is no evidence that it has tried to acquire one. However, we all probably wonder, how destructive are nuclear weapons really? Nuclear weapons are designed to cause maximum devastation. The extent of destruction depends on a number of factors, including the size of the warhead, the altitude at which it detonates, and the local environment. But even the smallest warhead could cause enormous loss of life and lasting consequences. The bomb that killed up to 146,000 people in Hiroshima during the Second World War was 15 kilotons, and today's nuclear warheads are larger than 1,000 kilotons. It is almost certain that in the immediate nuclear strike zone, no one would survive the explosion. After a blinding flash, there is a huge fireball and the shockwave destroys buildings and infrastructure for several kilometers. How concerned should we be? The probability of a nuclear conflict may have increased slightly during the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine, but it is still low. Even if Putin's threat is meant as a warning rather than a signal of any immediate desire to use weapons, There is always the risk of misjudgment by one of the sides, or if events get out of hand. British Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said the UK had so far seen no change in the actual position of Russian nuclear weapons. It will be carefully monitored, intelligence sources confirm. And finally, if you've come this far, I must tell you one main fact, and that is that the only country in the history of mankind that has used nuclear weapons is the USA. That's all for today, guys. If you liked the video and want to look more similar content in the future, I'd ask you to like and share and to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, the Explainator greets you.